It should fire right off. I don't know why it wouldn't. Just as I suspected. Welcome to Schmokesshop. Alrighty. Look who's here. Battery. What we're going to do is we're going to go back through the DS7 a little bit. I'm not going to put you through all that again, but I'm just going to run through it real quick. Make sure I don't have anything grounding out. Maybe put some, like the battery box back where it needs to be, which will stabilize the regulator. And then we're going to put the battery in it and see if that helps with getting it running again, because last time it was not acting right. Anyway, we'll see. Boop, 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 boop. I did it again. You know what I wouldn't mind doing is going for a motorcycle ride. Speaking of motorcycles, I don't want to tickle. I don't want to pickle. I don't want to die. Just want to ride on my motorcycle. Cool. Ow! Mother! My, that was a little bit painful. So, for anyone who's actually been paying attention and watched any of these DS7 videos, one of the first issues I ran into when I put it back together, it being the fuel tank. When I put the Petcock back together, I had the fuel tank on its back, upside down. And so when I looked at the writing, I put this together upside down. What happened was the schwa, the valve of the Petcock, can't turn where it needs to turn because the gas tank's in the way. And the workings inside only allow it to turn that direction. So when I pull this apart, I'm going to flip it upside down and put it back together again, and then we'll be back in business. The only reason I'm going at this that aggressively is because I know I've taken it apart recently. Otherwise, I would not be going at these tiny little screws like that. But I know I've already broken them free. All right. Bloop. I don't know what that was. That was weird. Sort of fuel-y. So, again, basically, we're literally just going to do that. Assuming you could see what I just did. I just flipped it over. Now I'm only just getting that in there. I'm not tightening it up at all because I want to make sure that everything is in the correct positions before I really tighten it up. And when I say really tighten it up, this does not need to be anything more than snug. Yeah, alright, so that's off, that's on, that's reserve. Hey, we put it together correctly. Okie dokie. Let's put these over here so I have them if I need them. Kind of put the battery box back in and the regulator. The battery box and the regulator back in, and the airbox. The airbox and the battery box, which underneath which resides the regulator. That was fun. Hey, what was that? Something just fell off. Oh dear. That looks important. It's a screw. It's a perfectly good screw. I could use one of those right about now, as I'm about to be putting this together, so I'll need a screw to put it back together. That's all. I don't know what anybody else was inferring. Speaking of fur, wait, what? Order of operations is obviously backwards. So maybe we'll do that first. And then that. 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 No. I got it in a precise order. That's very unfortunate. This is the kind of stuff that you guys don't want to watch, I'm sure, but I'm going to fight it. We're going to win in the long run. I can assure you of that. That goes on there easily. All right, well, we're already under there now. Underwear. I just wanted to say underwear. Okay. And then he put a screw in there. Okay. I don't remember. Is that stuff all that loose? That's cray-cray. There's nothing to tighten. So that would be a yes. All that stuff is that loose. It's a beautiful day. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to try not to point you directly at the sun, but oh, there's the sun. Anyway, I was trying to get the neighbors all out of the picture, but hopefully you can hear the wind chimes. Just a nice reminder that everything really is going to be alright, man. How y'all doing? I just had some lunch, so I got a belly full. Belly full, man. Thankful, belly full. I'm gonna put this coil back together. I reckon. Wrecked him, hell, damn near killed him. Ha ha! Wow. I wonder if that's all it was. Somebody ripped this out. It's very possible. As such, I should probably check the other one. In reality, ay, caramba. Yeah, that one's feels like it's in there. And I believe that's the one we had spark on. Sparkles. Hey guys, what's going on? What? Where are you? You're way over there. So yes, we have a new battery. 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 Metallica too. Old school. Not any, I mean, the new stuff's alright, but not the same thing. But in high school, junior high school, woohoo, Metallica. First concert without anyone's parents escorting or anything was Metallica. That was loud. inline spark tester, if I haven't already shown you that. Ouch. Basically, this light bulb will light up if you have spark. Well, if you have a signal for spark. I mean, your spark plug could still be grounded to itself and not producing spark inside of the combustion chamber. Double checking, double checking. Should be good to go. In theory, should be good to go. Should be good to go. In theory, should be good to go. Should be good to go. In theory, should be good to go. I am dancing with a monkey in a forest full of lemurs. Owner's manual, screws, any of that. Owner's manual, drain hose, screws, all of that. Cool. Initial charge is required before placing this battery into service. Charge for time shown on charge is based on your charger. Charging your battery at a rate over 2 amps will shorten the life of your battery. Anyhow, after reading through the directions and reminding myself how to do all this, I need to go get a charger. What we need to do is fill up the battery with electrolyte. And after having done so, the battery needs to rest. The electrolyte must be between 60 degrees and 86 degrees before filling. Wow, that could actually be an issue today. That's very interesting. I mean, I could leave it in the sun for 5 minutes. Although it was in the house. So yeah, no, this was in the house. It'd be aight. We're gonna cut this off. They want you to leave enough this way to attach this red tube. Red tube fit over that. Nipple. I had to say it. It's a nipple. It's a nipple, guys. Alright, so this is where the eye protection and hand protection comes in, because this is battery acid. Yeah, I'm just going to take these end nippers, and I'm going to go pretty much 2/3 up. Yeah, that makes sense. If you couldn't guess, we basically put the red tube over the remainder of the nipple. Slowly fill each battery cell with electrolyte acid to upper level. Yeah, sometimes I kill me. Remove red exhaust cap and discard. Boing. I'll throw that in there too. Slowly fill each battery cell with electrolyte acid to upper level. Upper level. If you have any electrolyte acid remaining after filling the battery, it needs to be disposed of properly. The remaining electrolyte acid should be enclosed and kept in the acid container that has been provided. The container should be taken to a local hazardous waste facility that your municipality or other local government unit provides for household hazardous waste disposal. All right, guys, let's fill these little holes with electrolyte acid. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna light this puppy on up. Jet fighter, what you doing flying over my house, jet fighter? Wait, what?
Enter the skunk dimension. The time is short. Enter the skunk.
Okay, kids, that's the end of the show. I guess I could put the caps loosely over the vents, as was requested by the directions. Imagine I have a glove on, by the way. The skin! I shouldn't joke about stuff like that. Always wear your proper safety gear, kids. Alright, guys, guess what we got? Distilled water. I'm going to put some of this water into a smaller container so that I'm not battling a gallon. Shotgun blast. Boom, boom. Gosh. I'm just going to pour some of this into a nice plastic cup. I don't need anywhere near that much. Perfect. We're taking our caps back off. I think we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. We don't need no stinking funnels. We're just going to make a big mess. Just like a good old red-blooded American would. Alright, now we're up to the upper level. Now we're going to pop our caps back in. Okay? Ta-da! This is the Vector Freedom of Power battery charger. 2 amp charging rate, 6 volt and 12 volt compatible. This is a 2 amp battery charger and maintainer with quick connect and 12-foot reach. It works with lead acid, wet, gel, and AGM batteries. Oh yeah, man. It's a good thing, man. Good thing. Ready? Unboxing mode. Dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Should we just dump it? Dumping. This is the box. This is the bag. This is the manual. This is the ringed cable so that you can hook it up for permanent attachment if you need to maintain something. And then these, oh, it smells so nice. It smells like a fresh electronic device with a plastic housing. We'll go ahead and skim the directions real quick because I keep talking about doing that. It's going to say connect and plug in, but there might be a particular order. Locate battery chargers far away from batteries cables permit, which I assume is to prevent making sparks because the gases off gas from a charging battery are flammable. Disconnect AC cord from electric outlet before connecting or disconnecting DC clamps or ring terminals. Never allow clamps or ring terminals to touch each other. All right. The negative is negative and the positive is positive. Makes sense to me. Then we hook up this handy connector. It's not working. Ah, good thing they did that. So again, there is no on-off switch. We just plug this thing in. All right, guys, look for lights. There's going to be lights here. There's no lights. Well, there's lights. It's green. It's green and blinking, which I believe means it's charging. Yay! All right, well, you know, it's charging. You want to watch it? Just watch it. Every once in a while, you'll see a bubble. I'll be back in 2 hours. All right, gang. I'm not even sure where we left this, as it is another day. Illuminate. Got to start off with an So our charger has been charging overnight, and of course it is a self-regulated maintainer, battery maintainer. Anyhow, let's go ahead and pop these all in. And hey, we're back. Saturday. My shoulder. Yep. Anyway, my shoulder. Wah, wah. So I guess we've got this huge overflow line. Ta-da! That seems a little bit tall, but what do I know? I know that that's not going to work with the seat that I've got. I guess it could, but it's not. Heh. Well, none of that really matters right now. It's not like we're going for a ride. I'm not worried about the permanent routing of these wires because if I decide to keep this bike, I will completely take it apart. Right now, all I'm trying to do is get the systems working again. The condition that I got this bike in was absolutely a barn find. It had been setting. I didn't get it directly. I got it from the person that got it. Anyway. So, I don't think I ever did an actual proper detailed walkthrough of this bike. Once again, I gotta find the flashlight, so I know where it is. I'm just trying to keep you looking at what you want to look at. So we'll come from this side, even though I don't have as much light. I don't know if that helps or hurts. I think it actually hurts. That's a pretty good representation of the word I'm looking for is muffler chrome. I believe it could be polished out much better. This was just kind of cleaned with some Scotch-Brite and I don't remember. I think I came out here one night and played with some polish a little bit. Chain guard, same situation. There's some behind the shock there. You know, I could be cleaned up more if it was completely taken apart, for one thing. But there's nothing rusted through on that. Shift lever definitely shows some damage there. The center stand is missing, rusted off. There's what's left of it. And the rust situation is that, can I turn the light on? Yes, if I do that and that. So I tried to put the part of the bottom that was obviously at the bottom when this thing was sitting in the shed or garage or barn or wherever it was, because that is a perfect demonstration of basically sinking into the ground. If it was here, I don't know where it was from, but if it was here in Florida, when the ground gets soft, I guess I should leave that on, huh? Things sink into the ground. So the bottom of both wheels, or what was the bottom where it was, is, you know, I say roached. But I haven't really gotten into it yet. And what my plan is, again, if I keep the bike, is I'm going to break down these wheels and see how bad that damage is. If there's thick enough metal still there, I'm going to clean it up and paint the rims black. Spokes, basically, I'm going to clean them up, put them in the sandblaster, and try and salvage some. I can get spokes, but they're expensive. The fork sliders, fork tubes are a shot. The fork, those things, sliders, whatever, are a shot. The shocks themselves cleaned up pretty decent. Wheels cleaned up pretty decent. Again, what this needs is to be completely taken apart and polished. Fenders, you know, that's the worst part, I think. The part you see is, you know, it's dusty right now, but it'll clean up. Again, it's never, this is original. This is never going to be a showpiece as with these parts on it. I mean, unless you want to pay for rechroming and all that, but that's not something I'm going to do. Frame, like I said, needs to be just completely taken apart. The whole bike needs to be taken apart and thoroughly cleaned. And, you know, motor case can be painted. There's a lot of stuff that I could do to this bike and make it a rideable, fun little toy, I say. Which is my plan if I keep it. Little scrambler, runabout, hopper, bar hopper, I don't know what you'd even call it. The headlight, again, if you're going to go for a factory restoration, you need a new headlight. Because that bucket is shot. However, I can get an aftermarket headlight that'll pop right in there. What else are we showing you? More of the rust in that wheel. You know, like I said, if somebody was going to restore this bike, then they've got money in their pocket and they can buy new rims. I do not have money like that to play with. So if I keep it, I know I keep saying that. If I decide to keep this thing, what I will do is completely take it apart, clean up the frame, paint it black, take the motor out, clean it all up, possibly go through the seals and stuff. I mean, it all depends on money. It's all about the money. Money, money, money. Air filter I did get out of there, but as I said, it's damaged. So if I put that in there, it's just going to suck the filter material into the carburetors, because that's pretty deteriorated. Anywho, let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble? Maybe. Is it a rumble? Okay, so before I had to go get the battery charger and all that, I think I mentioned yesterday that I've got some starter fluid, and we're just going to see if this thing fires off. Alright, let's get out of the bag now. I don't know how much more I can cut the bag without turning it into shreds of plastic. Well, nothing immediately blew up, so that's good. I was trying to keep it open so I could see if it was blown or not. But the reality is, if I've got issues, I check both sides of that fuse and I'll know if it's blown or not. Ta-da! See what happens. Nothing. Interesting. Anyway. Headlight. High beam, low beam. Turn signals. All right. How about spark? Oh yeah, immediate spark. Beautiful. Well, let's just see what happens. You are recording, right? I'm just gonna go with a quick spray of starting fluid. That much on that one. And that much on that one. It should fire right off. I don't know why it wouldn't. Just as I suspected. Okay. So our main issue was the fact that we had a dead battery. I was just testing a theory that there was still gas in the carbs. There is. And that's it. That was the gas that was in the carbs. Okay. Yay! I don't know how much that wind noise is going to affect you, so we're just going to pause and come back in a moment. All right, kids, we're back. Fresh air has entered the building. I believe our best bet right now would be to get back to putting it back together to see if we can get it to run off of its own fuel tank. Ouch. I don't know if I have the rubber baby buggy bumpers, the rubber bushings that go on the fuel tank. But again, you know, for the 50th time, I'm not really worried about any of that stuff right now. Because before this thing would ever be put on the road, it would be, yeah, this vinyl fuel line that I use is already stiff as a board. Feels like glass. Before I ever put this thing on the road, it would be completely taken apart. I mean, I guess it could, but it would need a yeah, I'd have to come up with a way to mount it other than the easy way, which is just setting it on the frame and figuring out a way to bolt it down. So what we'd have to actually do is make some base plates. And I really don't want to tack them on there. But I really don't want to do anything to permanently change this thing. So I may have to make something that goes around the frame and attaches somehow. I'll figure it out. If I, again, all this pending me keeping it. Which reminds me, I've had a couple different people express interest in buying this thing. I have no need to sell it. It would put some money in my pocket. But, you know, frankly, I had one offer, and it was basically less than I've got into this thing. And no, I wouldn't sell it for a loss. There's no chance at all of that. But, you know, my email's in the description if anybody wants to discuss that subject matter. I'm not open to the idea of selling it, but I'm not going to sell it for a loss, because that would be ridiculous. And as much as my channel is all about ridiculous, I'm not stupid. Well, that's a lot more stable than I expected it to be. A lot. I mean, that's actually remarkably stable. I don't understand how. Oh, because it is. Okay, it's resting on the... wherever you are. There you are. It's resting on the center stand, the top of the center stand in the back, and then the bottom, the arch of the pegs. So yeah, that's actually surprisingly stable. Good. That's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. Everything's coming up. Schmokesshop. At this point, I guess we pour some fuel in this thing and see what happens. So what we're going to do is get rid of the rest of this fuel that we got the RV running with. Yeah, that looks great. Whatever. It's all going to end up on the floor anyway. Probably. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, there's plenty of fuel in there. Currently, we do not have fuel leaking out of the fuel tank. We'll probably go to, what do you guys say? Reserve, probably. Wouldn't you say? We'll try on for starters. I'm going to go ahead and go to reserve because I know that's more realistic. Yeah. Well, you know, suppose let's see what happens, right? Right. Well, that was exciting. Turn the choke off, maybe? Well, So far, I don't have fuel pouring out all over the place. Okay, well, once again, yes, there it is. At the very least, this float is stuck. Okay, well. Well, I think this is the point where I think we all know I'm not going to be able to really get it running right without the air cleaners on there. But better than it was. And in a gear. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I was just curious. Oh wow, that's a really smooth shifting transmission. That's first, or second rather. Huh. I think that float unstuck because there's not fuel pouring out anymore. So that's good. And there's still enough in there that there would be. And it's still in the on position. Huh. So I got one of the boots on. And it was a fight. But aha! That's what I was afraid of. So I noticed that the spring was missing from this one. It's broken. Well, ought to go on easier. I will say that the carbs are not leaking out and the Petcock is still on. So that's good. Oh, cramp. Note to self, drink water. Drink water. Just don't make a note, just drink water. Alright, I think they're both sort of on there. Doesn't matter. Because they're there's no clamps or anything on it anyway. Alright, now I'm just curious to see if that made any difference. That throttle is sticking too. Yeah, so it's not drawing fuel. Didn't suck the air filter in, so that's good. Also, I have no idea Did I don't know what we set these carbs to. What was it, 1.5? One and a half. That actually helped. Let's choke on. That's definitely running off its own fuel system. Whoop, I solved it, but whew. I'm gonna turn the fans on and stuff again. I think I've proved my point. Okie dokie. So that was my goal, was again to get it running off its own fuel system. Let's illuminate. I don't have a puddle full of fuel down there. Actually, fuel's still on too, so that's good. I will go ahead and turn it off. I know I've said this 50 times, but my entire goal was to basically get this thing. I got a light shining right in your face. Was to get this thing where it proved that it was still a viable motorcycle. As far as how much time and money and energy I'm going to sink into this, I'm still undecided. I know I mentioned it several times. Don't really have a big budget currently. And since I already have a motorcycle now that I can go hop on and take for a ride, this thing kind of tends to sit in a corner. So let me know in the comments how many of you want to see me take this bike completely apart, clean it up, put a new set of tires on it, possibly rims, you know, sink. Man, what, $700 easy, $700 into it, and have a bike that's not worth what I've got into it. Because if I'm not going to restore it correctly, it really doesn't have a whole lot of value. But overall, unless it's a restored or original unit currently in this market, it's not worth that much money. So I think I'm better off, YouTube wise, spending money on Mr. Hancock, because he gets the most attention. The camper is the most budget-friendly thing for me to work on because I have plenty of wood here from building this house. The problem that I have with that is that it is the most poorly performing videos. They are the most poorly performing videos so far on my channel. The Will It Run did great, but that's because if you put Will It Run in the title, it doesn't matter. It'll do great. The Yamaha DS7 gets attention, but I think the fact that the second video was kind of a total fail turned off some people. Mr. Hancock, however, consistently gets views. You put 1965 Volkswagen or Volkswagen Beetle into your description and or title, it gets views. I know for a fact that my most loyal audience, my core audience, the majority of them are Volkswagen people because, again, I can tell from the analytics. So I have no desire to have a Volkswagen channel. Don't take that personally. I love Volkswagens. We're going to be working on that Volkswagen Eurovan and getting it going too. But I also like motorcycles. I like fixing broken things. So, algorithm be damned. I'm going to do what I want to do. What I am going to try and do is stick to a consistent Wednesday upload, no question about it. The Sunday thing, I think I'm just going to kind of do it as if I'm able to pull something together and get it out for Sunday, then there's a Sunday video. Don't count on it. Surprise Sundays, maybe. Anyhow, like I said, it's still evolving. For those of you who actually listen to this part, I appreciate that. And with that being said, we've got some interesting news. Our subscriber count, it's gone up more since last I looked, is growing. Again, I don't know what it was last video, but we are currently at 214 subscribers. That's definitely up, and I definitely appreciate it because we're inching ever closer towards the goal of monetization. That being said, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. And if you liked the video, please click that like button, share it with your friends, and give me a subscription if you haven't already. It's going to help us grow. As always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Ay caramba, los gatos locos, caramba, sí.